Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed on this Friday. How was your day today? How's things where you are? How's life where you are? Love to hear from you. I kind of stopped asking to hear from you in the comments, so please let me know how things are going. Whew! I wrapped the dining room today. Well, I got the dining room floor laid. There's still a lot to do. I have about a 6-foot hallway left, which should go fairly quick other than every board has to be cut because it's narrow and the boards are running side to side. So lots of cutting. There was actually a lot more cutting than I imagined today in the dining room, just because you can only get like a board and a half or something between a wall and the island. It's not a very big dining room. It's more, in a larger house it would be considered like a breakfast nook, right? It'll fit a table, but it's kind of cramped, and I'd like to find a smaller table. Like, we have a really big, like, family size table, which if anybody ever eats here, it's usually just like 3 of us, so it's kind of a waste of space. So I'd like to find a smaller table and I have a set of chairs, so that's on the lookout. I'm on the lookout for that. But I got everything laid. I was going to show you, I bought a tool to do this job, to do specific parts of this job. Like, there's a couple of things I need to do that I did not own a tool for. And it's upstairs, it's just too much effort. So I'll show that to you next week, and hopefully by then I'll have a little bit more time with it to tell you about it. But, yeah, man, I just keep crushing along. I had a helper until about 3 o'clock today, and then actually this morning I had to go to Keely's Christmas program. I'll put a little piece up here so you can see her in her dress. She's kind of middle frame, if you didn't know what she looks like. But she did an amazing job. They were really good. And then came home and worked all day. And then my helper left, and I went to Walmart to get a few supplies. I had to put some trim and stuff back up, and I didn't have finish nails, so I needed that. Needed food. I hadn't eaten today, so went and did a few things, and then came back, and I've been just kind of slowly. I need to, first of all, the entire dining room is in the living room right now. You can see that. That needs to change. So I've been working on putting that back together, but sweeping and dusting and mopping the floor before I move everything back in. I have a piece between the old floor and the new floor that I have to fix, and I'm not positive how I'm going to do that yet. I'll show it to you here. The old floor is engineered hardwood. It's bamboo, and this floor is laminate, and 2 very distinct patterns, and I have to figure out a transition. So my plan is to take a piece of walnut and make my own T-molding. I just don't know how strong that would be. If anybody has any experience making T-moldings, please let me know, because I need to do that. And then the kitchen, I'll put that up here. There's 2 pieces in the kitchen where the floor steps down onto linoleum, and I want to put a transition there. And I'm not sure if I can make that or if I should just try to find matching transition strips. I went to Ace Hardware and looked to see if they had anything that would work, and I didn't like their options. They have mostly carpet type stuff, not flooring. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do there, whether I make my own transitions or not. I have a T-molding. When I figure out how to make that T-molding in front of between the living room and the floating floor, I'll have to make one for my bedroom also. So I got to figure that out. But for now, it's okay. People can easily notice that there's a big gap there, so don't step there. The problem I'm concerned with, if I make the T-molding, I'll basically have to take a thick board like this, and I'll have a thin piece overhanging it where the floating floor can slip under. Well, if it was like this, if this was long grain going this way, that would be great. But finding a 7-foot piece of walnut that has the grain running, this way is impossible. So it's going to sit like this, which means that in my mind, I think it's just going to be too weak, but I'm afraid of that lip snapping off. And maybe I'm crazy, because this is pine and this isn't snapping off. So as long as I make it somewhat thick, maybe I'll be okay. My plan was to put a small round over on it and make it make it sit, you know, so that the flooring can move under it, and make it fairly wide. I want to make the transition between the two floors pretty wide, so we'll see how that works. So actually, now that I'm playing with this freaking pine, I mean, this is some weak pine, and it's doing, with just my hands, obviously I'm not stepping on it. And it shouldn't, I mean, it shouldn't be an abrupt, like, step, because I want to cut it so that it's almost pinching the flooring. So the plan is to cut out the rabbet, or the dado, or whatever that's called, and then try to cut it perfect, and then I'll shim it with like paper to get it just up off the floor, so there's not a whole lot of that going on anyway. And if I just screw it down the middle, it should, in theory, I guess it should do this. So maybe I'm just overthinking it. I don't know. Somebody let me know. But I have a lot still to do, so I'm going to go do that. I just wanted to record this real quick while I was clean, because I just got back from Walmart. So thank you for being here, as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. Thank you for everybody who's been hitting me up on Instagram and liking the photos. That's been really cool, so thank you for that. I appreciate it. And I'll see you back here on Monday.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from Wikipedia. What was New York called before it was called New York? The Dutch called the whole area of New York New Netherland, and they named a fort and town in the south end of Manhattan Island New Amsterdam, after the capital city of the Netherlands, which was to become present-day New York.